In today's fast-paced world, information overload is a constant challenge. Whether you're a student, professional, or creative thinker, organizing your ideas effectively can make all the difference. That's where TreeSheets comes in. TreeSheets is a unique tool that combines the best elements of spreadsheets, mind maps, and outliners. It's designed for anyone who needs to structure complex information in a flexible, intuitive way. For students, TreeSheets offers a powerful way to collect and organize vast amounts of notes, link concepts, categorize information, and create a personal knowledge base. Writers and content creators will find TreeSheets to be an ideal canvas for brainstorming ideas, outlining stories, and keeping track of complex narratives or article structures. Even in your personal life, TreeSheets can bring order to chaos, from planning events to managing household inventories. What sets TreeSheets apart is its infinite nesting capability. Each cell can contain an entire new grid, allowing you to drill down into details or zoom out for a big picture view. Whether you prefer a linear list, a grid layout, or a more visual mind map style, TreeSheets adapts to your thinking process. Best of all, TreeSheets is free and open source, making it accessible to everyone. Now let's dive in and start exploring TreeSheets. The creator of TreeSheets is a developer named Wouter van Ortmersen. On his personal page, under the name strlen.com, you can find information about TreeSheets. On the TreeSheets page, you can find a link to GitHub where he publishes the latest releases of TreeSheets. Let's go there. This is the releases section of the TreeSheets repository, and we find here different versions of TreeSheets for Linux, Mac, and Windows. We will download this Windows setup executable and start it. Now Windows informs us that it does not recognize this software. We click on More Info and can now click on Run Anyway. Now the installer has started and we can confirm our language selection. We click through the installer until the software is installed. And voila, TreeSheets is started. It has opened a demonstration document for us that we can freely edit. Creating your first document. To create a new document, click the New button in the top left corner. A wizard will appear asking for the initial grid size. Let's accept the default value of 10 by clicking OK. Now we have a new document with a 10 by 10 grid of cells. For better visibility, press F12 to increase the display size. In the upcoming lessons, we'll explore how to work with these cells. Input text in a cell. There are different options for text input into cells. The first step is always to select the cell you want to change. After you have selected a cell, you are free to place a cursor within it. If you have done a change, you can commit the change by pressing the Enter key. It's also possible to append to the existing text in a cell. You do that by first selecting the cell again and then pressing F2. You see now the cursor is at the very end of the text cell. Again, I press Enter to commit my change. It's also possible to replace the whole text in a cell with new text that I write. For that, I have to do nothing special. I only select the cell and then start typing. That are the main options for entering text into a cell. Controlling cell width. Cells automatically expand to accommodate their content, but only up to a certain point. This limit is called the maximum cell width. You can find the current maximum cell width value in the lower right corner of your window. For example, the currently selected cell is set to a value of 15. This means after 15 characters, the text wraps to the next line, preventing the cell from becoming too wide. To adjust the maximum cell width, use the Alt key combined with either your mouse scroll wheel or the page up and page down keys. Let's see this in action. When I increase the maximum cell width, watch how the line break disappears and all text fits into one line. Now, as I decrease the maximum cell width, notice how the line break is reintroduced and the cell becomes narrower. This feature allows you to control the layout of your document, balancing between readability and compact presentation. Text size and zoom. You can control for each cell individually its text size. Let's have a look at this cell here. You can find its current size value in the lower right corner. So for this cell, the size is -5. Let's have a look at the cell next to it. This cell has a bigger text and its size is +1. And now let's look at this smaller cell. It has a text size of -10, as you can see in the lower right corner again. So if we want to change the text size, we select the cell and then press Shift and page up or page down. So we press Shift and page up and the size increases. Look that also the child cell has increased. When we change the size of the parent cell, also the child content is changed. So there is also a cool feature that is related to text size, and that is the zoom feature. Here I have a cell, and in this cell we have something that looks like an outline, and that's what it is. There is a child cell with lots of text, but we cannot read it right away. It is so small in its text size that its content is hidden and only an outline of it is shown. We can zoom in to that content by using Control and page up. If we do that, all the other cells are blocked out and we focus fully on that detailed content. You can see also the size of this cell is -11. If we want to go back and zoom out, we press Control and page down. And now we're back in the overview. We can do that also for this cell. For demonstration, we can make it so small that only an overview of it is shown. Shift and page down, and you see now you can no longer read it and you have to focus in if you want to read its content. Row and column deletion. Here we have 100 cells. In TreeSheets, you can not only select cells, but you can also select the border between cells. Here we have two columns, one in green and one in red, and I can select any border between those columns, and then I can delete the columns. With backspace, I delete backwards from the selection. That means I will delete the green column. With the delete key, I will delete forward. That means I will delete the red column. The same applies for rows. I can select any border between those rows, and then I have again those two options, backspace for the row above and delete for the row below. Copy and paste. Copy and paste works similar to other applications. You have also the widespread keyboard shortcuts Ctrl-C and Ctrl-V for that. Let's start by copying a single cell. I select the cell that I want to copy, press Ctrl-C, and insert it into an empty cell. The behavior here is straightforward. The content is just inserted. What happens if I insert into a cell that has already content? In that case, the original content is replaced with your new content. That is copying of single cells. But you can also copy multiple cells. I select multiple cells here, copy them. And now what happens if I insert into a cell that has already content? The original content in this case is not replaced, but it is preserved, and the content that I insert into this cell is inserted as a subgrid. So you see the original content at the top and a subgrid with my inserted cells. The last case for insertion of multiple cells is the empty cell, and that is again straightforward. The content is just inserted into that cell. Moving cells. In TreeSheets you can easily move cells. You can either move a single selected cell or you can move multiple cells. Here I have selected 3 cells and I move them upwards by pressing Ctrl and the arrow key up. I can also move a cell horizontally. I select this green colored cell here and press Ctrl and arrow right. At the edge of a grid, you can continue to move in the direction of the edge, and the cell is wrapped around to the opposite edge. Vertical and horizontal layouts. In TreeSheets, there are 2 layouts possible for nested cells. On the left, you see the vertical layout, which is the default. On the right, you see the horizontal layout. You can switch between those 2 layouts for a selected cell by pressing Alt and 0. Now I change from the horizontal layout to the vertical layout on the right side. I can also change the layout only for subcells. I select the subcell that I want to change and press Alt 0. And now I have parent cell in vertical layout and an inner cell in horizontal layout. TreeSheets offers 3 different styles. You have the default style, which is the grid style. You have available a bubble style and a line style. Those styles can be combined with the 2 layout options, vertical and horizontal. So if you want to change your style, you can use one of the assigned keyboard shortcuts. For each combination of style and layout, there's a dedicated shortcut, as you can see here. So now I want, for example, change from this vertical grid layout to a horizontal line layout. And therefore I press Alt and 6. And you see we have now a horizontal layout and a line style. We can change back to vertical grid layout by pressing Alt and 1. Files, links and images. In TreeSheets, you can add links to files, links to websites, and you can embed images. Let's start with links to files. Here in this cell, I have the path to a file on my local system. If I press F4, the file is opened. And you see for this JPEG image, the image viewer is started. Here I have the path to a local directory. If I press F4, the file manager starts. I can show you how to create such a link. You only have to copy the path to your directory or file and write that into its own cell. And that's it. Now if I press F4 on this new cell, the file manager opens in the new directory. So now let's go to links to websites. That works the same way. You now have to press F5 to start the browser. and you see the browser is opened at the desired location. Here we have a cell with an image. You can add an image to a cell by opening the context menu with the right mouse button. There you have an images section where you can select Add Image. I select the file and the file is inserted into the cell. You can also change the size of an image in a cell. It's also in the context menu images section. Here you can select scale image and enter percentage to change the size. You can also remove images. It's also in the context menu images section. Here we have the option remove image. That's about files, links, and images. Font styles. In TreeSheets I have some font styles available. Here we have the font styles with their associated keyboard shortcuts. I can toggle between applying and not applying a font style by using the keyboard shortcut repeatedly. For example, this bold text becomes no longer bold if I press Ctrl and B. If I press Ctrl and B again, the text becomes bold again. It's also possible to combine multiple font styles. Here I have the bold text, and if I press Ctrl and I, the text becomes also italic. Colors. In TreeSheets you have 3 different options for using colors. You can use colors in cell backgrounds, you can use colors for text, and you can use colors for grid borders. You have at the top menu bar 3 different drop-down menus for this. The drop-down menu labeled cell is for changing the background color of a cell. The drop-down menu labeled text is for changing the text color of a cell. And finally, the border labeled drop-down is for changing the grid border of the child grid within a cell. Searching. For searching in TreeSheets, press Ctrl and F or click into the search input box. When you start typing, you see immediately that all cells that contain no matching text are grayed out and the matching cells are highlighted. That way, it is easy to spot matching cells even in bigger documents. TreeSheets is a powerful tool for organizing information in innovative and efficient ways. I use it daily. One of the greatest advantages of TreeSheets is that it's open source software. This means it's not only free to use, but also transparent, allowing users to trust that it does exactly what it promises. The strength of TreeSheets lies in its versatility. Its speed and flexibility allow it to adapt to a wide range of needs.